We used that to push the circuit breaker in.
Okay, master arm on.
Aldrin jammed his pen into the circuitry, and with Armstrong at the controls, Apollo 11 engaged the engine and hoped for the best.
9, 8,
But would this desperate measure be enough to save their lives?
stage, engine arm ascent, proceed.
On the lunar surface, Buzz Aldrin is jamming his pen into the starting mechanism of the lunar module's engine, their only means of escape from the moon.
7, 6, 5, port stage, engine arm ascent, proceed. Yeah, beautiful. 26, 36 feet per second up. 5 for the pitch over.
Aldrin's ingenuity had saved the pair from a lonely death. It remained for the crew to rendezvous with a command ship orbiting far above the surface.
Okay, Mike. I'll try to get in position here, and then you got it.
Only when this maneuver was accomplished could the crew begin to believe that Apollo 11 might bring them and their precious cargo of moon rock safely home.
Once we left lunar orbit, that gave us, for almost the first time, a relaxed sensation of we're heading home, we're looking to come back, and then have our own slightly late celebrations.
But they weren't home and dry yet. 8 days after the start of their mission, Apollo neared the Earth to prepare for the last great danger, re-entry. If the module approached the atmosphere from the wrong angle, it could burn up or simply bounce off into space.
If you come in too steep, you're going to have very high G-forces, high temperature. If you come in too shallow, you won't slow down below orbital velocity before you start gaining altitude and going back out again. And of course, under those conditions, you may not have enough oxygen to survive coming back in again.
See you later. There's blackout.
The intense heat of re-entry caused a total communication blackout with the module. For 4 anxious minutes, no one on the ground would know if the tiny craft had survived the high temperatures. Off the coast of Hawaii, Nixon, aboard the carrier USS Hornet, awaited his next photo call.
At blackout, we were showing velocity 36,237 feet per second. Range to go to splash 1,510 nautical miles.
We were excited, all right. We were just wondering, would the parachutes open?
Apollo 11, this is Hornet, over. Apollo 1, this is Apollo 11, reading your loud and clear.
At 15,000 feet, the 3 parachutes deployed. Against all the odds, Apollo 11 was coming home.
And somewhere, I guess, below 10,000 feet, we could smell salt air. And that was quite a welcome home sensation.
In the back of my mind, I could almost hear President Kennedy's words. We choose to go to the moon.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Now, all the close calls, equipment malfunctions, and human errors that nearly cost the crew their lives were forgotten. The first lunar landing was a success. NASA believed itself to be invincible.
The feeling was definitely there that, man, just throw any challenge at us and we can meet it. We can do anything. You want us to go to Mars? We'll do that. You want us to build a space station? We'll do that. You want us to build a reusable space shuttle? Sure, we'll do that too.
But over 30 years later, and with the reality of losing shuttle missions in space, the men on the Apollo team now realize just how lucky they have been.
If we were to approach somebody today with the idea of flying to the moon
like we had in 1969, they would laugh in our face and say, there's no way that you're going to be able to do that. It's not safe enough.
Spaceflight is intensely risky. High risk was needed to get that mission done. I think most of the flight crews would agree that had we not stopped flying Apollo missions when we did, we would definitely have lost lives on those missions.
But despite the perils of blastoff, encounters with a UFO, low fuel, computer failures, and the need to save the mission with a ballpoint pen, there is still one man for whom failure was not an option.
I don't look back and pat myself on the back for being part of a real risky maneuver. I think we made some bold decisions. Yeah, we had things that could have gone wrong, and some did go wrong, but we also had an inspired group of people pioneering, and I marvel at the very close conditions that resulted in my still being alive to go to the moon and to be here today.
It is only now that we can truly understand just how close to disaster Apollo 11 really came.